Are you going to build enough wealth to do what you want, when you want, and with whom you want in your lifetime? Because wealth isn't really about money, it's about freedom. Our biggest fear as we get older is never attaining or losing the freedom that we've worked hard our entire lives for. Do these questions keep you awake at night? Will you be able to maintain your standard of living in retirement? Will you have the freedom to work or not work on your schedule and terms? Will you be able to take the trips you've been dreaming of for years? Will you be able to spend the time you want with your spouse, your children, and your grandchildren? Will you be able to help the people you love financially to make their lives a bit easier than yours was? Wealth gives you the freedom to live your life on your terms. Wealth gives you the power to say yes, and even more importantly, to say no. What's at stake is the difference between living the life that you want, the life you've worked so hard to attain, or serving someone else's dream because you didn't secure your financial freedom. I imagine you are attending this webinar today because you're worried that your investments have gotten off track this year, that your losses have given up most or all of the gains of the last few years, and maybe you are feeling scared and confused by what's happening in the markets. And if so, you are here for exactly the right reasons. And congratulations on taking such an important first step towards a better financial future. You recognize there is a problem, and you know you must fix it now. I am sure many of you don't even want to open your brokerage statements. You know that you can't just close your eyes and ignore it, wishing and waiting for things to change, because hope is not an investment strategy. Close your eyes and picture how you would feel if you knew that you had a common sense plan for your investments, tailored to your specific needs, managed by an experienced and highly qualified investor who communicates with you regularly to inform and educate you about your investments and your personal plan. Wouldn't that give you the confidence that you are on the right path to achieve your financial goals and realize the freedom you deserve? How would that newfound confidence feel? Would it ease your anxiety and concern over the financial headlines? Would it give you peace of mind about your money today so that you can get back to focusing on your life, your work, your family, and be fully present in the moment? If you are interested in booking a Zoom meeting to discuss your personal situation directly with me, click the Schedule a Call with Chris button. It will open a new window and you won't lose your place in this webinar. Now, I'll tell you some good news about investing. Fortunes are built during recessions. The opportunity to acquire great businesses at attractive prices is foundational to the returns you will realize over time. Warren Buffett says, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." But far too many investors make decisions based on the emotions related to rising and falling prices and do the exact opposite, a strategy doomed to fail. There is tremendous opportunity right now to sort through the wreckage on Wall Street, identify great companies trading at attractive prices, and put yourself on the path to low-risk, long-term wealth creation. Just like the farmer who plants seeds in the spring so he can reap the harvest in the fall, the seeds of future fortunes are sown during recessions. But you need an expert. The investment landscape has changed in ways that indicate that the next decade could be much more challenging for investors than the last. A world of higher interest rates, higher energy prices, and tighter capital markets is a very different world from the one we've lived in for the last 14 years. You might call it the Great Unwind. And the investment strategies that worked well in the recent past might greatly underperform in the future. Many of you are here today because you're concerned about your wealth and whether you are on the right path to securing your family's financial future. And I hope to leave you today with a better understanding of your options and hopefully give you some peace of mind in deciding what actions your family must take right now to preserve and grow your wealth. Before we go further, the lawyers want me to read this disclaimer. This webinar is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute investment advice. I am an investment advisor, but I'm not your investment advisor and must issue this clarification to be compliant with securities regulations. Again, if you are interested in booking a Zoom meeting to discuss your personal situation directly with me, click the Schedule a Call with Chris button. It will open a new window and you won't lose your place in this webinar. So, who am I and what does this have to do with you? I'm Christopher Carlin, and I have worked in the investment management industry my entire career. At Yale for my MBA, I met my mentor, David Swenson, who ran Yale's endowment and was a leader in shaping how institutions invest. Leaving Yale, I polished my craft at prominent hedge funds, mutual funds, and investment advisors that provided world-class investment management services to institutions and the very wealthy. In helping family and friends invest, I noticed how lacking the investment options that were being offered to individuals, even wealthy ones, compared to what was available to those with extravagant wealth. I founded Aquitania Capital Management over a decade ago with the intent to fill the gap of providing high-quality, unbiased investment management services to individuals and families that had accumulated significant wealth but were underserved by the options available to those less than ultra-wealthy. I have distilled my 25 years of professional investing into the all-weather portfolio strategy designed to preserve and grow your long-term wealth. It's a straightforward style of common sense investing that has been proven over time. It is simple to explain, but far from easy to accomplish. If you are interested in booking a Zoom meeting to discuss your personal situation directly with me, click the Schedule a Call with Chris button. It will open a new window and you won't lose your place in this webinar. When Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, met Warren Buffett, Bezos asked a simple question. Warren, your investing style is so simple. Why doesn't everyone just copy you? Buffett replied, because nobody wants to get rich slow. I've spent over 25 years as a professional investor and have seen multiple cycles, and every generation has a hot sector, and there's always a fund manager that becomes a star and is viewed as a visionary, until it all falls apart, leaving investors like you with massive losses. Getting rich slowly is a perfectly acceptable outcome and far preferable to getting poor quickly. I have distilled my knowledge and experience into creating an all-weather portfolio to preserve and grow long-term wealth through rational, common sense, and time-tested investing principles. I call it the all-weather portfolio because to grow long-term wealth, you can't just grow your wealth in bull markets. You also must preserve your wealth in bear markets. To do both requires investing using the principles of intelligent investing, but also a careful approach to portfolio construction. You may have heard of a 60-40 portfolio. This refers to a portfolio comprised 60% in stocks and 40% in bonds. The general idea is that stocks would provide growth in good markets and the bonds would preserve wealth in bear markets. like the one we are in right now. This reasonable strategy worked well until interest rates went to zero during the Great Recession. And the 60/40 portfolio is having its worst year ever as rising interest rates caused both stocks and bonds to fall sharply this year. Many investors foolishly attempt to time the market or have a short-term mentality. My research process is focused on analyzing industries, businesses, and managements to identify long-term value creators and then purchasing their securities only when attractively priced. The all-weather portfolio looks very different from the S&P 500 and most other portfolios. There are typically 30 to 50 stocks held, each one selected through rigorous, independent, fundamental research. The S&P 500 contains only US-based companies. The all-weather portfolio is global because there are great companies to be found all over the world to invest in. I would love to tell you all about the strategy and processes behind our all-weather portfolio, but I simply don't have time in this presentation. If you're curious to learn more about the all-weather portfolio and how it's structured to build long-term wealth through good times and bad, book a Zoom meeting to discuss your personal situation directly with me. Click the Schedule a Call with Chris button. It will open a new window, and you won't lose your place in this webinar. I built Aquitania with one simple guiding principle: create a firm that I would love to be a client of. I think you will find us to be demonstrably superior and pleasantly different compared to most other firms that you have worked with or considered for the following reasons. Portfolios designed just for you. Portfolios are constructed based on the best opportunities available at the time. If we purchased a great company in other accounts years ago whose price has increased substantially, we may not decide to purchase it for a new account if we feel that better opportunities exist today. In addition, all accounts are in your name as opposed to a mutual fund, so you own your tax basis and will not be hit with a tax bill for gains earned by other investors. In addition, we can accommodate your ethical and tax concerns. We will ask if there are any companies, industries, or countries that you would prefer not to be invested in, and we can work with you or your accountant at the end of the year if you need to realize or defer capital gains or losses for your tax planning. Transparency and access to the people making decisions about your portfolio. Relationships are built upon trust, and trust is built by performance and communication over time. I believe that the best clients are educated, informed about what they own and why, and we communicate this regularly and in detail through our quarterly letters, emails, and video updates that you can peruse at your convenience. This helps build confidence in how your wealth is invested so that when the inevitable bear markets occur, you will be assured that we can navigate it successfully. In addition, I'm available to take your questions directly at any time. This is access that most firms simply cannot or will not provide, and other firms have account or relationship managers whose job is to manage you, but they aren't responsible for doing the underlying research into the stocks that you own. We eat our own cooking. My family investments are invested with Aquitania so that my interests align with yours. Investing is not a game of perfect, and I will make mistakes in buying companies where results fall short of my expectations. What I can guarantee is that mistakes will not occur because I am not diligent in my work or my incentives are not aligned with yours. Owning the same stocks puts me in the same boat with you in good times and in bad. No conflicts of interest. The only fee that you will pay to Aquitania is our management fee, which is a simple percentage of your account's value. The value of that fee goes up and down with your portfolio, so our shared incentive is to grow your portfolio. Trade commissions are paid directly from your account to the custodial brokerage where your assets are held in your name. We do not receive any kickbacks from any brokerage firm, nor do we earn any commissions for selling products. There are no fees to open or close an account, and you can terminate your relationship with us at any time without penalty. We never buy or sell stocks in our personal accounts ahead of our clients. Our incentives are to grow our clients' wealth and to delight them with incredible service to retain their business. We are an independent, registered investment advisor. We answer only to you. There is no corporate bureaucracy standing between me and you, and no corporate agenda that may not have your best interests in mind. Unlike all brokers and some wealth managers, we are fiduciaries, meaning that by law, we must always act in your best interests. If you are interested in booking a Zoom meeting to discuss your personal situation directly with me, click the Schedule a Call with Chris button. It will open a new window and you won't lose your place in this webinar. Before we go any further, I want to make sure that you're not wasting your time. There are lots of different firms that offer investment services, and I want you to find the firm that is right for you, even if it isn't mine. Because we are talking about building and growing a relationship that hopefully spans many years, even decades. And whether in business or in life, relationships where you just aren't right for each other are no fun at all. My firm is a specialist investment boutique, and I'm not trying to deliver all things to all people. I'm only looking to help my clients invest a portion of their wealth dedicated for long-term growth. This means that portion of your money that you do not need to spend for at least 5 years, and ideally 10, 20 years or more. Typical clients are working professionals and business owners in their 40s and 50s. We help tech workers looking to diversify away some of their company's stock risk while still investing for long-term growth. We also work with individuals nearing or in retirement who have accumulated generational wealth and are looking to invest their long-term capital to preserve and grow wealth for their heirs. I emphasize communicating with and educating our clients. This starts with making a personalized assessment of your goals, your risk tolerance, and any other preferences at the onset of our relationship. We are limited to the number of clients that we can bring on in any year. We generally only work with clients that have $500,000 or more to invest. However, I recognize that 2022 has been a tough year for investors, and that's probably why you're here. You may have had $500,000 or more last year, but have fallen this year, and you're a bit under our minimums. If you're interested in working with us, I will try and be as accommodating as possible on a case-by-case basis. If you're interested in booking a Zoom meeting to discuss your personal situation directly with me, click the Schedule a Call with Chris button. It will open a new window and you won't lose your place in this webinar. We are not designed to appeal to everyone, but we are the firm that you need if you are looking for low risk, intelligent investing oriented towards long-term growth, research-based global stock selection, full transparency about what your portfolio contains and why, custom-tailored portfolio and client experience, direct line of communication with decision makers, no conflicts of interest, and a manager who owns the same stocks as you. Here's some more detail on what working with us looks like. We do not custody your assets. They are in accounts under your name with Interactive Brokers. You have access to those accounts directly. Our investment management agreement gives us only a limited power of attorney to enter buy and sell orders and debit your accounts for our fee. We cannot otherwise disperse funds. Clients must invest a minimum of $500,000, which can be separated into multiple accounts of at least $100,000 each. Given the sharp decline in the stock market this year, please reach out if you are near these minimums but have fallen short because of losses. We may be able to make an accommodation on a case-by-case basis. Our fees are 1.5% of assets, payable monthly on a pro rata basis in arrears. We debit your account 1/8% of assets on the first business day of the month based on your balance on the last trading day of the prior month. There are many options available to investors at fees higher and lower than ours. I believe that our fees offer tremendous value given our research-intensive investment approach and exceptional level of client service and access. We earn our fees in ways you will love. As an independent boutique firm, you will never be just a number with us, and we will give you the attention you deserve. Many investors who don't have the time or interest to invest choose index funds. Index funds are an effective solution in many situations. However, there's a big reason to be skeptical that the performance of index funds going forward will not be as good as it was over the last decade. Index funds benefited greatly when interest rates fell to zero 14 years ago during the Great Recession. A rising tide lifts all boats. This period of financial history is over. Interest rates have risen sharply in 22 and are likely to climb higher, causing investors to be more discerning between companies that are generating cash flow today and those that only trade on their potential for future growth. The tide is going out and opportunities abound to invest in ways unavailable to index funds. If you are interested in booking a Zoom meeting to discuss your personal situation directly with me, click the Schedule a Call with Chris button. It will open a new window and you won't lose your place in this webinar. Albert Einstein famously said, "We cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking we used when we created them." 2022 likely revealed a problem that needs to be addressed now regarding how your money is being invested to preserve and grow your long-term wealth. I recognize that change is scary and it's too easy to just put your head in the sand and ignore it, hoping the market recovers and you regain some of the capital that you had 3, 6, 9, 12 months ago. But hope is not a strategy. The stakes are exceptionally high, and you only get one chance to build the wealth that can give you the freedom to live the life you want. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So you must change the path that you're on, the path that isn't working. Someone is sitting under a shade tree because somebody planted one 20 years ago. The best time to start investing intelligently was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. I have told you about an intelligent, common sense investing strategy that has been proven over time and has created great fortunes. It's simple, but it is not easy. If you don't have the time or the expertise to invest for yourself, you need an expert to guide you. And I have a 25-year track record of building long-term wealth for large institutions and the ultra-wealthy using strategies that form the basis for our proprietary all-weather portfolio that is designed for families like yours. You know that who you work with is a vitally important choice. I have built my firm with an investor's first ethos, free of conflicts and designed to delight you with our investing and our service. You know that working with an investor who owns the same stocks as you aligns your interest. Warren Buffett has discussed how people either instantly connect with the principles of intelligent investing or they don't. Most people, by definition, just don't get it. They would rather chase the latest fad, invest haphazardly, or just resign themselves to a cookie-cutter index fund portfolio. My intention and purpose are to delight each client with our long-term performance and outstanding service. It only makes sense to become a client if what I've said today instantly resonated with you and you share my commitment to intelligent investing for long-term wealth creation. So consider the following questions to decide if working with us is the right choice for you. Are you seeking a low-risk, intelligent investment strategy oriented towards long-term growth? Would you love full transparency about what companies your portfolio owns and why? Do you deserve a custom-tailored portfolio and client experience? Would you appreciate a direct line of communication with the decision makers on your portfolio? Would you feel secure in working with a firm that does not have conflicts of interest in how they manage your wealth? Would you feel reassurance knowing that your investment manager owns the same stocks they purchase for you? So if you are ready to make a change and put your family on the path to low risk, long-term wealth creation, want to work with an investment manager that puts your needs first, and you meet our minimums, please click the button to schedule a Zoom meeting with me to answer all your questions and bring you on board as a client.